Hey, what's happening, Internet? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to Multiversus Season 2. New Hack and Smash Harley Quinn is tonight's stream. And for tonight's Super Chat goal, if you guys want to, you can choose what the next Multiversus stream will be. I have no plans to do Multiversus for a few days. Tomorrow we'll be doing the Fortnite X-Men stream on Cyclops, Colossus, and Jubilee. And I don't know what I'll be doing the next few days. I might be doubling up on 2 X-Men streams for X-Men 2 Wolverine, or Wolverine's Revenge, starting on Tuesday, I believe. Probably Tuesday. And also going to be doing the new event in Zenless Zone Zero. So if you guys want a Multiversus stream this week, you can try to do the Super Chat goal to go toward that, or, you know, next time I have time for Multiverses, that'll be when we'll do that. Because kind of running out of character skins to showcase, as well as, like, the rifts. I'm just going to be honest. The rifts aren't as good as they used to be. Like, how do I explain this? The rifts were more interesting because you actually went towards something of value in the rifts. The rifts this time, they don't really have anything of interest. Like, there's no character that's locked behind the rift. There's no real incentive to do a lot. I mean, there were skins and there was all kinds of stuff that you could push forward through the rifts. And these new rifts, they don't last very long at all, and they don't really give you much except for, you know, some type of currency you can use to have another way to unlock a character. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem like it has the same appeal to me. You know what I mean? Like, because most of these characters, too, you could buy with Gleamium, like Superman and Harley and stuff like that. I don't really get the reasoning behind some of it. Like, it doesn't have the same draw to me as the other stuff. You know what I mean? It's fun, it's nice, I guess, but it's not the same. And, of course, they're still doing this thing, so you can buy this skin and other thing for whatever. But they should really lower it a little bit more than that. So anyway, we're going to jump into some matches. If you guys want to play, I'll send you an invite. Your YouTube short tonight will be at 11:30, and it's a very weird short. It's called How a Drummer Plays with Their Cat. And I was goofing off with Link, and I had the Golden Axe theme going. Oh, that's worth it. I don't have enough, though. It's available for 21 hours, and then it's gone. Okay. Alright, so let's invite some people. There's an event currency. Okay, that didn't give you 600 bucks. Alright. Alright. The Battle Pass is worth it. The Battle Pass has some cool stuff this time around. Like, I really do like some of the additional skins for the Battle Pass. But the rifts are just... I don't really like the rifts very much this time around. They just don't appeal to me. It's like, okay, whatever. There was more... I could milk this game a lot more when the rifts actually had something of value with them. Like, there was something we were all striving for, a common goal. And the rifts in this one, it's just not really worth it. You can beat the rifts now in, like, 2 days or something like that. Less than 2 days. So it doesn't have that same gravitas behind it, you know? It's just kind of there. It's like, yeah, okay. Whoops. Why did it change my fighter? I want to be Harley Quinn. Whoop. Lock-in fighter. So yeah, tomorrow will be Fortnite. If you guys are curious about the X-Men characters, Cyclops, Colossus, and Jubilee, it'll be this time tomorrow. I've been binge-watching the Arkham playthroughs. I completed Arkham Asylum last night, the original version. Very nice, Patrick. Thank you very much for the super chat. I will put that toward the goal. So that's $10 towards the Super Chat goal, even though YouTube doesn't count it because they're weird. They really should count it because, I mean, the Super Chat goal is $25, so it should count. But I'll count it toward it. So you guys will still be able to vote on what you want for Multiverses if you guys reach the goal. So, and I noticed some things in the chat I just want to address. If you guys are watching movies that are currently in theaters on your phone, don't advertise it. Like, be discreet. I'm not going to turn you in or anything like that, but, you know, not everyone in the chat is going to be cool with that. So just, you know, if you do stuff like that, don't announce it. It's like you're trying to play like Russian roulette with the law or something. Because, I mean, yeah. Usually back in the day, if you did that kind of stuff, though, you would only get in trouble if you would actually try to sell the movie before it came out. Just owning it and watching it wasn't really something that was a punishable fee. I don't know what it is now, but I still wouldn't advertise it. Like, I don't think it's smart to advertise something like that. So that's just me, but be discreet. That's all I'm going to say. All right, Marissa. Okay, Marissa's playing as Matrix Superman. I am playing as Hack and Smash Harley Quinn, which, can I just admit the Hack and Smash Harley Quinn is a stupid name? Hack and Smash. Why couldn't she be Cyber Harley Quinn or Future Quinn? Something like that. Hack and Smash sounds stupid. Whatever. All right, let's do this. Oh, I already had the game muted. So now that I have my voice back, tomorrow we're going to be calling out Bruce Timm, because Bruce Timm had a stupid interview. Did you guys see the interview? Of why he gender bent the penguin? This shows you that, unfortunately, Bruce Timm has fallen off a lot. Like, Bruce Timm is not the same guy he was in the 90s. He is not creative anymore. He's just engrossed in trying to appease like modern audiences that he's so far gone that he can't see reality in front of his face. His argument, which is a flawed argument, he says there wasn't enough Batman female villains for him to incorporate in his show, and that's why he changed Penguin. Literally, the thing is, if you would go back in time and you would show Bruce Timm, because they did have that argument in the animated series, they're like, huh, we don't have enough female characters for Batman. Do you know what they did? They created them. That's the thing. They said, oh, we don't have enough female representation in Batman. It's like, all right, let's make a new character. This is Red Claw. This is Baby Doll. This is Calendar Girl. None of those characters existed prior to the animated series because Bruce Timm and company created them. Right? So he is completely detached from reality. Like, he's literally just now vomiting out a talking point from Twitter. He doesn't have any creative juices left in his body at all. He's a shell of his former self. Like, it's sad, but that's what happened to Bruce Timm. I don't even think he realizes that he could literally create a new character if he wanted to. He did it before. Numerous times. So that's... I'm going to roast him tomorrow, actually. I'm looking forward to it. I wrote my outline, and then as soon as I'm done with this stream, I'm going to make the video, and it'll be up in the morning on the O1 channel. I'm going to blast Bruce Timm to tiny bits. Oh, yeah. Not only that, but I also have a counter to his argument. Besides making new characters, or using characters that he helped create for the animated series, there's also at least like 4 or 5 characters that I can prove to people that would have worked in the 1940s setting. Way better than the characters he used. Also, why in the world did he make Nocturna a child? Like, preying on children like that. That's just creepy. You guys know that Nocturna is a DC character, right? She's like a vampire character. Why on earth did he make like a girl character, like a preteen, have to basically suck the life force out of children by kissing them? No one else is alarmed by that? People should be freaked out about that. That's creepy. Nocturna is usually like this female fatale, vampire chick that sucks the life force of like people out of their mouths, right? But usually adults. They made Nocturna a child in the Cape Crusader, and she's preying on children by basically kissing them. No one else is disturbed by that? People should be. So Bruce Timm has fallen off. So I'm going to be, like, I think my video is going to be titled, Bruce Timm Falls Off. Earth. Bruce Timm dumb take. I'm gonna have to come up with a good title, but I'm gonna roast him to oblivion tomorrow. And my counterpoints, I'm also gonna show comic book characters they could have incorporated that he didn't even think about that would have worked in the 1940s. Magpie, Roxy Rocket, Lady Shiva, things like that. So he's completely just... Bruce is a shell of his former self. We know the reason why he gender-bent Penguin. It's because he's trying to appease modern audiences. He's more intelligent than that. He can't. His hands are tied. And I'm going to show why. Yeah, no one else. Everybody's like, wow, I love the inclusion of Nocturna. So you love the fact that she basically sucks the life force of children through their mouths? That's what... Okay. That's the hill you want to die on? Okay. Okay. FBI, search their computer. You know, it's just... It's weird. And again, Nocturna is usually an adult. They make her a child. Yeah. Whoop. It's like they were trying to go the baby doll approach from the animated series, but instead of like releasing a banger, they made a dud. Time to cut loose. And the only thing that's a saving grace for episode 8 is the fact that it's a Bruce Wayne centered episode. We also get to see his girlfriend Julie, who was the girl he was engaged to in the Golden Age. So it's the first time we actually see, like, Bruce listen a little bit to what his psychiatrist said a little bit. And he actually has a relationship with some meaning. So maybe we'll see more of Julie, like, in the second season or something like that. Who knows? But the fact that Harvey knows who Julie is means that she's more than just a one-date kind of girl at this point. Because Harvey's familiar with... He knows her by name, and Julie is familiar with Harvey. But of course, we never see that relationship grow. It's just like they're hinting toward that maybe there was more with this Julie character. Whoop. Whether or not the writers realized that they actually wrote something good, we'll never know. But... it's interesting to think about a little bit. Ow. Boink. Oh, I completely forgot how to hit my thing there. Sorry. Match point for blue team. Sorry, Jack. I forgot I could use my bat. My mind was going other places. I was like, oh yeah, I have an up smash. I should probably do that. Whoopsies. I forgot my hit up special. I'm so sorry. Now I remember it. Oh. But yeah, I mean, that is such a stupid argument that he came up with. Well, you know, we didn't have enough female villains. Derp, 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 derp. It's like, you have a whole list of villains you could have used. We know why you did it. Pandering. But I mean, the Suicide Squad did the same thing, though. Like, Suicide Squad has a plethora of female characters that they wanted to do, but they don't want to do it because they're lazy. So they decide, we're just going to change Mr. Freeze. Make a very ambiguous, freakish Freeze. When we could have used Killer Frost, or by all means, we could have... You know what they could have done? Here's what a stunning and brave thing would have been. Nora as Mrs. Freeze, Victor inside of the cryogenic chamber. Role reversal! My gosh! Stunning and brave, right there. There's a twist. Victor's the one who has the disease and he's inside of the freezy thing, and Nora's the one out and about trying to get a cure for him. Mind-numbing. It's like, really, these guys are this stupid? It's like, when did we start employing stupid people at Warner Brothers? It's not hard. You have literally tons of female representation you could use, but you continue to use them on the sideline. Why? Because you have to make big headlines with the media, with your bold changes, so the media will just talk about your stuff. Sad, but that's the reality we live in. Name one time that DC has appeared in our national media that wasn't because of a race change, that wasn't because of a gender change, or a sexual preference. You cannot name one time that they received massive media coverage. Does not happen. But when they change somebody like the Penguin, guess what everybody is talking about with the Cape Crusader in media? There are hundreds of articles about the Cape Crusader about Penguin. Why? Because it appeases the American media. And so they talk about it. And not just them, the activists talk about it too. But that's the only coverage that the Cape Crusader has had that is a huge talking point for our media. Prior to the Penguin having, you know, their gender reveal party, there was no details on the Cape Crusader other than Batman fan sites. Nothing. Go back and look. Type Cape Crusader and you find me one hype article before they changed Penguin at not GDC, San Diego Comic-Con. You cannot find one article. Past June. Does not exist. And yet everyone is talking about the Penguin. Because the Penguin is throwing a bone to the modern audiences. That's the reason. And the fact that Bruce Timm lied and said, oh yeah, it's because there's not enough female characters. There's 20 female characters they could have used and built up, you know, those female identities or whatever. They decided not to because it's easier to take an existing popular male character and change them. Just for the sake of change. That's the truth. And the truth hurts. But, like I said, I have a full, it's probably going to be a 20-minute video. We're going to talk about a bunch of obscure as well as, like, a bunch of popular female villains they could have incorporated. And as well as talk about how Bruce Timm and company had this problem with the animated series, and all they did was just create new characters. Which is what people say all the time. They're like, oh, you don't have, you know, this character. It's like, okay, why don't we make them? Let's talk to DC and see if they'll approve it. And DC's like, yeah, let's go for it. Let's do it. In fact, DC would love for you to create new characters because then they can put them in comic books, right? But no. Oh, Cape Crusader is mid. Like, it's got a couple high points and then it's got a lot of lows. It's like watching the Cape Crusader is like experiencing a roller coaster. Kind of. You know how a roller coaster goes up and down, up and down, up and down? Animated series is a smooth ride from start to finish. You might find, like, out of the 85 episodes, you might find 15 episodes that you just don't like, but you were still entertained watching it. I only found 4 episodes that I really liked of the Cape Crusader, and 2 of those episodes that I really liked, I found problems with them. I went through, just for fun, I watched 10 episodes of Batman the Animated Series, which is not the full season, right? Just to put it in comparison, I watched 10 episodes of Batman the Animated Series this week after I watched my second time through 10 episodes of the Cape Crusader. So 2 times through Cape Crusader, 1 time through the 10 episodes of Batman the Animated Series. Batman Animated Series writing, music, voice acting, art was on a whole nother level of the Cape Crusader. You can't even compare them. Like, Batman the Animated Series would be S tier in comparison, and Cape Crusader would be D. Like, even the Batman, the 2004 show, and the 2008 Batman Brave and the Bold were handled better than Cape Crusader. And Cape Crusader is, you know, 30 years after the animated series. Like, the team got back and they made something. That's sad. That is absolutely pitiful. Just rewatch 10 episodes of the animated series, you know, and I shut off my brain and I just looked at it objectively like a reviewer would, and I found more positives than negatives because of the way that the show was handled. From beginning to end, I was entertained. The story was great. The voice acting was fantastic. The subplots made sense, and they didn't, like, overplay the subplots. They didn't overplay the villain's role. They kept Batman's role very prominent in the show because it's called Batman the Animated Series. It's just a superior product that continues to appeal generation after generation after generation. This show, Cape Crusader, is not going to appeal to anyone other than people living in the 2020s. After that, the show is just going to fizzle and die. It will not have longevity. Why? Because it's a dated product. The animated series is not a dated product. The animated series is timeless because it doesn't include any of the problems that happened during that time period when the show released. There is nothing from the 90s that would be considered like political or either a social issue of the time thrown into Batman the Animated Series. It doesn't exist. So the show itself is self-contained in the environment that it was created in. Whatever happens to those characters happens in the scope of the characters that are living in whatever time period that is. 1950s mixed with 90s technology. It's in its own, period that is completely unblemished from whatever was happening during the 90s. And there was stuff that happened in the 90s. You just didn't hear about it in your media because it didn't belong there. It belonged in the media where it happened. It didn't happen in the cartoon show or the movie. You know what I mean? Today, when something happens that's big in the media, whether it's a school shooting or whatever, 2 years from now, it will show up in a TV show or a movie you're watching because the writers nowadays are so stifled and lack so much creativity that they have to keep plucking real-world events and sticking them into their products. They aren't creative anymore. They can't be. They literally misuse Stan Lee's quote about looking out my window to write my books. That's not what Stan Lee meant. He didn't mean like look out your window and write about all the social and political nonsense that's happening in the 2020s and interject them in your comics. That's not what he meant by look out your window. Like, so they take it to a complete literal sense to the point where they're literally adding so many elements that don't belong, and people are just like, I don't really like comics anymore. It's because comics and TV and even video games now are a constant reminder of how much the world sucks. There is no escapism anymore. There is reminderism. That's the problem. You're constantly being bombarded on all fronts daily about what is going on in the world, and that's wrong. So that's why a lot of American media is failing spectacularly, is because it's a constant reminder of what's happening. It's okay to be subtle about it, but people don't have subtlety anymore. They have the subtlety of a jackhammer. All right, let's go Dozen Art. And if there's anybody else who wants to play, feel free. I will send you an invite. Yeah, I mean, well, the reason why he calls him Pennyworth in the show is because he's trying to show that Alfred is not important to him. How do you turn off your brain? What do you mean? Because I grew up with escapism, I could easily watch and understand whatever was happening in the world that I was watching. But when you're watching a fantasy show, you're not constantly reminded about what's happening, in the world around you, because you're being basically, what's the word? You're absorbing the world that you're in, or the world that you're watching, or the game that you're playing. So your mind tends to drift onto what is happening in the game that you're in. That's how it used to work. So if you were playing a game like Assassin's Creed, other than the modern elements they added and sprinkled in, for the most part, you were focusing on what was happening in 1476 with the character you were playing as. Same thing if you were playing the Devil May Cry games. Do you hear on the radio anything that was happening in the early 2000s about Devil May Cry? No. What you hear in the game is Dante is hunting demons and he's looking for the girl who hired him. That's the whole premise of the game. Demons taunt him. Also, you learn a little bit of backstory about his father and his brother. But for the most part, it's a self-contained environment that focuses only on the world that you're in. That's what turning off your brain is. That's escapism. A lot of you guys today, you do not have that. Because whether it's a sitcom, whether it's a movie, whether it's a video game or a cartoon, there will be reminders of what is happening in your world today, which is a type of mind control. It's brainwashing. We didn't have that in the 80s and 90s at all. Didn't exist. Go back and you watch something from when I was a kid, from whether it's the, let's see, whether it's Transformers, G.I. Joe, X-Men, Batman the Animated Series. There might have been subtle nuances, like kind of like sprinkles on an ice cream type of thing, but it wasn't like this big, like, jackhammer approach. Like, when you watch The Cape Crusader and you're, like, trying to get into the show and that 40s aesthetic, eventually the show's going to come up and it's going to smack you in the face with something that you hear on Twitter daily, like diversity hire, like, I can't do this because I'm a woman. What's another one? White men are evil, so I need to steal their money. So, I mean, there are so many of these moments in the Cape Crusader that it's like literally someone standing here with a megaphone explaining to you like you're stupid. Constantly. That's the difference. Like, if you had somebody who was sitting, like, on a corner, like, trying to sell you a newspaper, in the 40s, like a newspaper boy, that's kind of what you hear in these shows. Whereas when I grew up, we didn't have somebody shouting different things at us, you know, through their narrative. It was just like, okay, Batman Animated Series episode, Poison Ivy is poisoning people with her lips. She doesn't like the fact that people are destroying plants. Batman needs to go and stop Poison Ivy, do his detective stuff, and figure out where she's hiding. Episode's over. Either Poison Ivy gets away or she gets apprehended. That's the entirety of the episode. There is nothing sprinkled in at all. No underlining messages at all. Does that, everybody on the same page? Everybody understand the difference? I can literally tell you the synopsis of almost every single animated series episode, and there are no political undertones whatsoever. None. Zero. Zip. Zilch. Don't exist. Cape Crusader, I cannot go back and do a synopsis without literally explaining what they're trying to subliminally brainwash you with the message, because it's sprinkled all throughout it. And again, the subtlety of a jackhammer, where it completely shatters the immersion of the show you're watching. Just like that. So that's why it's hard for me to do the Cape Crusader review, because people are like, why are you mentioning this stuff? It's in the episode! Either you're so blind and...
Let's get this started.
Almost said the R word. Either you're so blind or moronic that you can't see what's happening, or you are so diluted in your thinking that you're just so accustomed to this that you can't see it. I don't watch a lot of American media. I watch Japanese and Korean products. So for me, seeing the Cape Crusader is like the author is screaming at the top of their lungs, this is what's happening. Whereas the stuff that I watch on a day-to-day basis, I don't see that stuff. So I'm kind of like an outsider approach because I don't watch daily American products and movies and stuff like that. Very periodically do I do it. Usually to cover a show or something like that. And I've noticed that a lot of Western stuff is kind of like propaganda now. Because they're constantly talking about things that they don't really need to be talking about all the time. And I have a very, like, unique outsider's approach to it because I consume mostly Japanese media. Whether it's, like, sitcoms or anime, Korean dramas, like, for Korea stuff. I've just now started watching Korean anime that's kind of interesting. So, you know, I don't really follow a lot of American cartoons and movies as much. Especially if it deviates from what I do in my videos and stuff. So I have a very common sense approach to things because I'm not constantly like getting accustomed to what they're trying to do constantly in the media. I also don't watch the US news at all. I read the newspaper on occasion. That's about it. I use my phone to check the weather or if, like, you know, there was some type of horrible shooting incident or something. That's about it. I don't do the news very much. At all.
You
I am
lose.
the daughter of Hippolyta, and I'm here to complete her... Haven't
This
even
isn't your
broken a
lucky
sweat.
day.
I don't think we got
Maybe you
any
did better
KOs
in an
there.
alternate
Maybe we
timeline.
did. I don't know. Let me see. Oh, no, we did. It was 3 to 2. 3 to... No. 3 to 2. So then he got... It was a really close match. Yeah, it was. Okay, so that match was 3-2. Okay, all right. But that's why I stand out compared to a lot of people on YouTube, is because I'm not constantly being subjugated to whatever it is they're trying to have me accept or whatever. I'm from the approach of like someone who's from the 2000s who understood what subtlety was, and I can easily point out stuff. But like my synopsis of episode 4 has been taking forever because there's literally in the episode they are trying to say they're doing two different narratives, and I can explain this to you. So there are two narratives in episode 4 where the police are chasing Batman. There's one narrative where they want you to accept that Commissioner Gordon is a strong character who, you know, has control of his police department. So, you know, strong-willed Commissioner Gordon, good. But then there's another part of the episode, near the beginning of the episode, where they explain to you that Gordon is a diversity hire, and you're supposed to feel a victim complex for him. So they're doing a clash of two narratives in one episode. Again, it's done very briefly, but the problem with the whole like diversity hire thing that they're trying to make you feel sorry about is it completely ruins Commissioner Gordon's character, because Commissioner Gordon, as you know, is a character that worked very, very hard to go up the ranks, and he went up level by level by level by level. He was not a corrupt police officer, started as a like beat cop, then he went to patrolman, then he went to sergeant, or captain, then he went sergeant, then he went lieutenant, then he went detective, then he went chief of police, and then he went commissioner, right? What they do in the show, which maybe some of you missed, they said it clearly, and there are articles on the Mary Sue about this, is that Commissioner Gordon was handed his position because of his skin color. And again, they go over it very briefly, but Commissioner Gordon even says it later on. He says, Montoya, you need to learn how to read between the lines. She's like, the mayor threatened to fire you? And he says, no, but you need to read between the lines about what's going on, why I'm here. So, I mean, a lot of people, when they're reviewing these shows, they're not paying attention to what's being said. Because these people, these writers, these producers are literally filling propaganda in the shows. It's right there. You can even pause it and put on subtitles and see what, you know, the mayor says to Commissioner Gordon. So you cannot interject 2020 ideals and say this character is exactly the same. The only difference is we changed, you know, their outward appearance, and then say, no, actually, this character fully is this person because they were hired because of who they are, not because of what they did. Then right there, you've just completely ruined the Commissioner Gordon character to appeal to a modern audience. But also at the same time, you ruin Commissioner Gordon. Because he would never, ever, regardless of his skin color, agree with the mayor doing shady stuff. Go back and you watch the Batman movie with, I don't know the name of the actor, but Commissioner Gordon in that show, in that movie, he's a very tough-as-nails, smart detective slash commissioner guy that has control of his entire department, right? He's not like this timid individual that's scared of the mayor. Like, not once do we have Commissioner Gordon yell at the mayor and say, you know, don't tell me how to do my job. If you go back and you watch the animated series, Jim Gordon and the mayor are constantly clashing with each other because the mayor is this bureaucrat, rich guy that is completely detached from what actually is happening in Gotham. And James Gordon is a guy who knows what's going on in Gotham, and how dare the mayor tell him how to do his job. You want to know what? If Jim Gordon was really Jim Gordon and not a diversity hire in the Cape Crusader, and the mayor was like telling him where to get off, Jim would have yelled at him and then hung up the phone. Instead, we have a very mopey Commissioner Gordon in episode 4. After being yelled at by his boss, he goes to make a cup of coffee and he runs into Batman. In fact, you could just cut that scene out completely and just have Commissioner Gordon walk in, you know, being upset, like, show the newspaper, right? Where it says, police bumble their attempt to get Batman. Show Commissioner Gordon looking at the newspaper, throw it on his desk, and go out to get coffee, and there Batman is in the other room. You didn't need the conversation with the mayor on the phone because the idea of Jim Gordon being like this diversity hire is never brought up in the show ever again. They're doing that to throw a bone to the modern audience. It's not needed. It doesn't further the plot. It's never brought up again. It's completely useless. It's just a talking point. That's all it is. So I am aware of this stuff, but most people are so conditioned that they don't see it. Do you understand? Like, I'm literally telling you what the truth is. That scene has no bearing being there because people already know from previous episodes that the mayor doesn't like Commissioner Gordon. Now you've reinforced a stereotype. Do you understand? Because that's what this stuff is. It's just blatant stereotypes. Yeah, and okay, here's a good example. In the 2004 The Batman Show, this is to show you how backsliding we've become as a society, or how backslided and divided they want us to be, because they want us to be segregated as a society. They don't like it.
Let's get this
in
started.
the Batman Show, they had this like unique idea to make Clayface the police officer, right? Bruce Wayne's best friend. It wasn't Harvey Dent in that universe. He was a police officer. And the police officer happened to be black, right? Nowhere in the show did they act like the police officer, because of his skin color, was any different than any other character in the show. He just happened to have his skin color different, right? And he went through all the motions of becoming Clayface, and everything changed. But never once did you think that the character was not able to achieve his goals based on where he grew up or what he looked like. That is a 2020s mantra, that because of your skin color, you aren't as good as someone else. That is the thing they're trying to reinforce to people, is that you need extra help. You're not as smart. You're not as capable. You're not as talented as so-and-so. So we need to give you this position because you won't get it on your own. That is racism. But that is actually something they are reinforcing on a day-to-day basis to you guys in your sitcoms, your movies, your cartoons, and your comic books. And I am here to tell you, as someone from the 2000s and the 90s, your skin color does not define you. Your talent, your personality, and your conviction, as well as your hard work, that is what defines you. So do not ever give up and give in to this false idea that you are less than a person based on what you look like, because that is something they are trying to enforce into you. It is not something that's true. So when they showcase characters of different nationalities and skin colors when I was a kid, it was just a choice to make the character be more like, you know, what you would see in a day-to-day basis. But they did not base the personality on a stereotype. Do you understand? That was the clear difference between our media for things like Justice League, Conan the Barbarian, what is it, Pirates of Darkwater, the Aladdin movie, all this other stuff. Like, we showed people and different nationalities, but we didn't further stereotypes, unless it was like The Simpsons or something. That's the difference. But here's the thing. You have all these people on the internet saying that I am a danger because I'm anti-woke. No, I'm just awake to all the nonsense that's going on, and I'm literally stuck in the I'm like in a bubble, surrounded by all the stuff from like the 2000s and the 90s, because again, I don't watch propaganda. I don't watch the current television of American stuff. The last sitcom I watched was How I Met Your Mother, like almost 10-15 years ago. Like I don't watch American commercials. I hardly see American commercials. I don't listen to the radio. I don't watch the news. I'm on Twitter sparingly, so I don't see a lot of the infighting, because I mostly hang out on video game or comic book Twitter. Comic book Twitter is where I get most of it, but I'm not constantly bombarded, you know, with all this information. and like choose a side, be Democrat, be Republican. I'm independent. I've always been independent. So, you know, you have like two sides, be red or blue, red or blue, red or blue, red or blue, back and forth like a ping pong. Bump, 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 bump. You know? And it basically causes people to constantly clash all the time. You know? And I think there are good people on both sides, but I'm just saying, like, if you watch CNN, you know, you have people from the CNN side that are trying to appeal to you. If you watch Fox, then you have people from the Fox side that's trying to appeal to you. You don't really have some place in the middle that really, like, shows both sides of the argument, but also has, like, a approach in the middle ground for that. You know, most people in the middle, you have to come up with your own opinion and just hear what both sides are saying, but you don't agree with them completely. You don't really have, like, a media company that does that because it caters to one side or the other. The only way that you can really get a outsider approach or, like, a middle ground approach is you have to watch media outside of your country. That's the only way. Because then you can see, like, how other countries make fun of both sides. So when I do watch media, I watch from outward places like Korea or Japanese or Australian or something like that. But again, I do that very sparingly. I don't watch Alex Jones or any of that stuff because I think that it's very they're one-sided arguments, whether Democrat or Republican. Like all the constant fighting. Like when I was a kid and a teenager and in college, like people of different political sides could disagree and still be friends and still work together. You know, it didn't get to the point where literally it's like watching a hockey team lose and people have a riot in the street in Canada or something like that. That didn't exist. People are so electrically charged with negativity that they can easily get into a violent, like, outburst between each other, or dissolve friendships, or break up marriages, or relationships, or quit jobs, or whatever. You know, my hope is that someday, somehow, I don't know how, but people will learn to get along again, and, like, even if it's over, like, political differences, like, find some type of common ground, whether, like, a hobby, or comic book character that unites people, or a film you both really like, something. There has to be some type of common ground that connects everybody. For me, it's always gaming because, like, I understand when somebody makes a reference for, like, how difficult Golden Axe was and, you know, their struggle to defeat Death Adder with, like, 1 CC left of health. I get it, you know? I understand the struggle. I respect that person. They went through the motion. Golden Axe is what connects me to that person, even though I've never met them. I've read their comment. I understand. I know what it was like when I was a kid playing that game. Same thing with Zelda. Like, there's so many Zelda people I'm connected to because we were in that world together. We played the game differently, right? But we all went through that adventure together. We saved the princess. We got the Master Sword. We went through the motions. We experienced Hyrule. We know the joys of messing with the ocarina, all that kind of stuff. Those little things connect us, right? So we need to be focusing more as a people on what connects us instead of what divides us. Because there's going to be lots of things that'll divide you if you focus on it. If you make that your focus every day and you think in your head, I'm going to hate this person, I'm going to hate this person, I'm going to hate this person, don't agree with this, so I can't agree with A, B, C, and D afterwards. Just in your day-to-day life, you have to find little things that you can connect to someone else. Like, just small things. And then maybe make the scope a little bit bigger. Make the size a little bigger. But, you know, this day and age, it's really hard for you guys because it's not your fault. You're being programmed. They don't want you to get along. They want opposition. They want infighting because it's easier to control people when people are divided. If people are united, it's very hard to control people. But if you're divided, then it's so easy. Then they just wind you up like a puppet and send you loose. It's true. But the reason why activists and gamers clash is because activists are trying to change gamers like other media, and gamers are too powerful. Because gamers, all they want to do is play games, and they don't care about what happens in... Like, when it's game time for them, they don't care about what's happening in the world. They just care about, I had a crappy day at work, you know, I lost a loved one, or my puppy died, I got fired, or I got yelled at by my boss, some idiot pulled out in front of me in traffic. I want to put in The Legend of Zelda, play The Legend of Zelda. Or, you know, I want to get into my fighting game, want to get into COD, whatever. So they don't want to be dragged back into our day-to-day life in the 2020s. So the reason why activists are having such a strong pushback is because gamers are tired of it, and they just want to play their games. You know, they may be for or against whatever it is that, you know, game journalists and some of these Western developers say they are, but at the end of the day, they just want to play their stuff. And the reason why there's a pushback and why we're winning is because gamers are basically on the side of common sense. And common sense is a lot more powerful than the media wants you to believe it is. And that's why they see us as such a threat. Is because they don't like our thinking. And that's why they make all these attack articles about us and all this other stuff. And I'm not just referring to myself. Like, I'm not saying, like, the media goes out of their way to smear us. I'm saying smear gamers in general. Like, they don't like us. And the reason why they don't like us is because they've even said, they've slipped the crack a little bit. I was reading one article, it was like 6 months ago, and this one person was going off on a tangent how toxic gamers are. And you want to know what they said in their article? They said gamers are so hard to control. So right there, that is the problem with us as a culture, as a gaming culture. Gamers are hard to control. So they accidentally let the mask slip in that article. And this was a United States press company, by the way. Zion. But that's why that's why, you know, gamers fight with activists all the time, is because they don't like our stance on stuff. Also, they don't like it when their games fail. Like that Condor game that just came out. Utter failure. The game that some Asian studio made, which was, what is it called? First Descendant, which is essentially the same type of game as like that DE mess that released, DI thing. Utter mess of a game, and First Descendant like destroyed it, and First Descendant is continuing to make money. They want gamers to play more of the Concord games and less of the ones that come from other countries. In fact, they're actually trying to make it harder for like I guess you would say like international games to come over to our market. They're trying, because they realize they can't control what those companies are making. They're trying to make it impossible for them to get a publisher over here. So in a way, activists are moving their focus to attack the ability to publish games over here from other countries, because they know that Japan, Korea, and China is a losing battle. That, you know, Japan just wants to make money. They don't care about propagating a message or anything like that. They want to earn a profit. They want to appease their fan base, and that causes a problem for activists. So they are fervently trying to find a way to prevent these games from coming over here, because now they realize they can't change them. So that's the next step that they're trying to do. And more of this stuff is coming out about them too, that these consultant agencies are straight up evil. So what's going to be the end of these consultant agencies is them literally trying to censor and remove these games from our country. That's the next thing that's happening. And then, you know, that'll be the end of those consultant agencies. And we'll see gaming heal, and who knows what'll happen with comic books after that, I don't know. But gaming is basically, we're the last bastion of common sense. We are, in this country, we're the last. If we fall, that's it. Then there is no more escapism at all.
Okay, the creep that did.
So that's why I became like a person to fight certain things, is because I believe in this cause. I believe in gaming. I believe in what gaming represents. And if they actually just leave gamers alone, I have no reason to talk about it anymore. But if you're silent, then you're compliant with them, and I refuse to be silent about that stuff. So that's why I get kind of motivated about some things when it comes to this, because, you know, I don't comply. If they would just allow both, if they want to make weird games like Condor, and they want like games like First Descendant to exist at the same time, then there's no problem. The fact they want to remove the Japanese games from releasing over here and censor them, and change them to fit like their narrative, that's why we fight. If everybody could just make the type of games they wanted and allow it to be in the country, there'd be no problems. The problem is they want to remove what they call the opposition. Hence why a lot of us have gone against the activists and the game journalists, and there's a turn on them, is because they don't want the other property to exist. Only their property. Or only their property can have this and that. The other stuff is not allowed, and it needs to conform to what they want. If they would actually... If activists would get together with gamers and come to some type of compromise, there wouldn't be like this quote-unquote toxic gaming thing. The toxic gaming thing is they don't like gamers, and they don't like gamers' stance on things. So that's why they mudsling us and they call us names. It's very like kindergarten, but... You know, that's what they believe in order to further their position, is they have to villainize us in order to prove their point. When all they're doing is they're just villainizing us. They're not really furthering their argument or anything like that. But they're so blind they can't even see it. You know what I mean? Alright, so I've played with... That was Dozenar. So we're still on Zion. Let's go. And again, if you guys want to play, just send an invite. So today's YouTube short is really weird. There's no speaking in it. Basically, I was doing the Golden Axe thing. Like I found like this awesome Golden Axe cover, right? And I cleaned the kitchen to it, and I did like some tidying up of the house. And I was curious, I was like, what would Link like this music to do some exercise? So I put on the Golden Axe amazing metal cover, like in the house, and you'll hear it. And then I was playing the cat, and he was attacking the toy in rhythm that looked like he was moshing in a metal concert. It's amazing. So that's the YouTube short tonight. Is Link is basically like being like a heavy metal fan. It's so adorable. There's no speaking in it. It's just music, but you can see Link like he's jumping up and down, and you know, it's like he's at a concert or something. It's kind of cute. Amber thought it was adorable, so that's the YouTube short. I think it's kind of adorable too. But think of it this way, Zenless Zone Zero, like, activists hate that game. Why? It's because it has attractive depictions of women in it. That's the only reason. There's nothing bad about the game, and it's a very tame game. There's no bathing suits, there's no anything. But it's not just about... Before, like, activists were angry about, like, video game girls wearing, like, bathing suits or whatever. Now they're just mad at the fact that these, like, fictional characters exist as attractive and they're not, like, 300 pounds or, you know, more masculine looking. So that's the point where a lot of us have decided to fight now, is because this is utterly ridiculous. Before, you know, some people could kind of understand their position. Well, maybe they are dressed a little too smexy or something, right? But now that position is gone because they've already gotten companies to, like, you know, bow down to that. So then their next course of action is, well, we don't want any attractive-looking characters because attractive people don't exist in real life. Most women look like this. That's the lie they're trying to sell you, which is not true. Most women are attractive. It's just there's, you know, not every woman looks like that, of course, but a lot of them do. But they're trying to take that away from you because they don't want you to have the choice. So that's why they tried to boycott Zenless Zone Zero, and they failed spectacularly. Zenless Zone Zero made another extra, like, $150 million during their boycott. And on Tuesday, they released their next season and their next character. So, you know, they said they're going to redouble their efforts to boycott Zenless Zone again, and it's like, Zenless is just like, okay, we're not changing our stance. We're still having the characters look the way they are, because they did compromise a little bit. You know, there really aren't bathing suit characters so much. Some games have it, like you have to pay extra for it, but for the most part, you know, I think that's something that, if it's not an M-rated game, then yeah, I could see somebody's position on that. Maybe not include having a girl in the bathing suit in a T-rated game or something like that. That's fine. But if it's an M-rated game, yeah, I mean, that would go with the audience that is buying the game. That would make sense.
More powerful foes than you have tried.
The problem is they don't want you to have that option. That's why a lot of us fight them now, is because we're on the position of sanity, they're on the position of insanity. So if somebody has logic and reason, then, you know, realistically, you would side with the group that is logical, and they're illogical. So that's why there's a clash. That's why I became a kind of an activist in the sense, but mostly I'm standing up for sanity. You know what I mean? So that's why there's a clash with me and some other people, is because, like, I can't just sit there and ignore everything that's happening when it's basically an attack on normalcy. I'm in a position where I believe that both sides should be allowed to have their games, but both sides shouldn't be able to say what is in each other's game. Like, if you're a creative person and you want to make, like, a Bikini Vampire Slayer game, you should be allowed to do that. If you want to make a zombie game and have a 400-pound, like, protagonist, you should be allowed to have that, you know? Nowhere should either side say, you're not allowed this, you're not allowed that. Now we have to take the side where we have to kick this stuff out because it's cancerous. But before, we could have been at a place where, like, this is allowed to exist and this is allowed to exist. And now it's past that point, because that side that wants to have, like, 400-pound or ambiguous-looking, like, female characters, they don't want the other side that has the attractive characters to be around. They want, like, the Hio, or whatever it's called. They want the Genshin Impact universe and the Zenless Zone thing to just disappear. It's not allowed because the characters look too pretty. And that's a very fascist opinion that they have, but they're trying to steamroll that opinion for everybody else. That's what makes them the villains. Do you understand? That's why the activists are so out of touch, and they're what we call tourists in the game industry, is because they're not real gamers. They've never wanted to be gamers. They just want to change and control gaming. Whoops! I don't know if that was 3 for Zion or not. I might have messed up. I messed up. Sorry, Zion. I was actually trying to make sure that I played with you the right amount of times. Hang on a sec. They're out of touch. They're out of touch. Oh, there are a lot of hot female gamers, yeah. But there are also female gamers that look like, I wouldn't say unattractive, but they look like they don't have a lot of makeup and stuff like that, and they were just that way. But they're trying to hammer that. Have you played the Concord game, or have you seen it? In the Concord game, they have females that look like butch guys, and they're like 400 pounds, and they just look hideous, and they got like moles everywhere and whatever. Those are people on their development team that look like that. That's not how most women in the world look like. You know? So they had this argument. In fact, Sony said something a while ago that came out. They were like, well, you know, it's hard for us to have these other games from, like, Japan and China and all these other ones, like, come into America when we're trying to do stuff like Concord, because they said stuff like Concord is moving the game industry forward. Actually, it's moving it backwards. And stuff like Zenless Zone and all this other stuff, they see as, like, bad, but at the same time, what they're doing to those Asian companies and countries is racist. But they can't see that, because they believe that their position is correct, so that the Asian people are propelling a stereotype of women from, you know, the archaic-like times of gaming, and the new modern take of gaming is Concord. Whereas, you know, actually the game that they're making with the first, whatever it's called, First Descendant and some of the other stuff, it's a modern game. It's just from the position of what gaming is supposed to be. So, and again, if people would compromise, I'd have no problem. Like, if they want to include a character that, you know, appeases the modern audience, just one character in a game, I say go for it. The problem is they're not okay with just one. Everyone would have to be changed. So that's why, you know, their position as activists, game activists, is incorrect. Is because even if you give them a bone, they want more. It's not just, okay, here you go, we'll compromise and give you this. They're like, no, 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 no. The whole game or nothing. That's why they're wrong. And that's why we fight. Pretty much. So it's common sense argument versus non-common sense. Because the funny thing is, I don't know if you guys knew this, but video games was always about compromise. Like, video game companies would always compromise and find common ground with Asian developers, American developers, and they would get together and bring both of their ideas to make great games. They did it for 40 years. It's the only past, like, ever since the pandemic age, that's when it changed. That's it. Before, everybody was kind of like, okay, you know, I like this idea and we should put this in the game. Or that's why you had GDC. GDC was a game developer conference where game developers would share each other ideas, and they would basically show the world, hey, this is what we're working on, and people would be inspired to do other things. Now GDC is basically a shell of its former self, and it's used by consultant agencies to target other companies. And they have these weird, like, workshops that never existed before that have nothing to do with video games at all. It's weird. Like, literally this year at GDC, I kid you not, there was a bunch of people, grown adults, that went out into the grass, and they chanted, "Criticism is harassment," and they screamed at the top of their lungs. There was like 100 people. These are grown adults. These were only Western developers, by the way. They screamed at the top of their lungs that they were upset with toxic gamers. That's what they did at GDC this year. Never happened before. This shows you that these people are mental. Right? It's insane. Like, literally, we cannot cater to people that are deranged. You can't. Because they will never, ever find any common ground with you. Because they don't believe that you are the same as them. They think that you are evil. Right? Totally. But GDC used to be a place where we'd get together and share ideas and further the game industry, or learn different, like, coding things, or deal with, what's the word I'm looking for? Find new, like, graphical engines or technology or whatever. It was the sharing of ideas and furthering the game industry. Now it's, I don't know if GDC should even be allowed to continue anymore because it's corrupted. You didn't see what like the rest of the world, when all these, like, American and Western people were, like, screaming and acting like children, like complaining about toxicity in gaming when they're screaming at the top of their lungs like a seance. There were all these people in other countries making fun of our game companies. And these were people in Korea and China and Japan just looking at us like we're completely just lost it. And they're correct. Like, I hold the position that, you know, outsiders have, that the game industry in America is becoming a joke. It's crazy. Like, you can't even argue that that's something sane to do, because it's insane. 100% insane. All right, anyway, it's YouTube short time. Like I was telling you guys, this is the new short. It's weird. I think it's cute. Maybe you guys won't think this is adorable. I think this is adorable. Link is, it's almost like he's headbanging, because if you look at his head when he's jumping around, his head is in rhythm to the drum beat, which actually is kind of cute. All right, here we go. And yes, this is a real arrangement on YouTube. Heavy metal cat. So basically, how I'm going to win my argument tomorrow showing that Bruce Timm has fallen off the face of the earth is I'm going to bring up characters that they could have incorporated that would have fit perfectly with the 1940s aesthetic. So we're going to be talking about Magpie, Roxy Rocket. We're going to be talking about Lady Shiva. We're going to be talking about Baby Doll, which Baby Doll would be perfect. We'll be talking about Red Claw, the Phantasm. Let's see, Ivy, like before she became a villain. You could incorporate Mercy from like Metropolis 2 and kind of like connect that. There's a lot of things you could have done instead of what they did do. But I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow because, like I said, I already have my write-up, and I think my write-up is fantastic. So it's going to be a little bit of like smack-talking Bruce Timm, but mostly it's going to be just furthering the concrete proof that my argument is unbreakable. That they could have done this, and they just were wicked lazy. So I can try to invite you, Cosmic. Who do I just invite now? Whoops. All right, anyway, let's watch the cat short. Cat short just went up. I think it's adorable. There's no talking in it. It's just Link rocking out. Catzilla attack. Also, if you notice, like, if you're a drummer or a musician, when I'm, like, playing with the toy, I'm in rhythm to the music as well. So I'm, like, actually in rhythm to the Golden Axe thing. So Linky's doing his thing, and I'm doing my thing at the same time. So I'm actually swinging the cat toy at a rhythm. Like, it's going da 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 da. So I'm going back and forth, like, swish, 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 swish. Be like if you were hitting the snare drum and the bass at the same time. Dun da 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 da. And then I change it, like when the music changes, and I went up and down, and then Link's paw matched the snare drum. Link's paw is going like bam, 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 like he's hitting the snare drum. It's just so cute. If you're a musician, you understand it. But, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I also got a good workout for doing that. The song was actually 3 minutes long, so I only showed about like 50 seconds of it. So my hand was going back and forth like that for like 3.5 minutes, and Link was just like zooming all over the place. I filmed the entire workout of him like doing that, but that was the funniest parts that I clipped together to make the short. Because like he was jumping all over the place, but sometimes he was just kind of sitting there watching it with his head going back and forth like da 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 da. It's kawaii. He's such a cute kitty. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. Alright, we'll just do mass invites. Da, 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 da. Excuse me. Alright, so I sent a lot of people stuff, but it doesn't look like it's working again. Now that Player First Games is a part of Warner Brothers, they need to get this fixed. If they have the resources involved, they need to fix this. Alright, so how are we doing on the short? Is the short working? I'm kind of scared to see if the short's working, because I'm not talking in it, so I don't know if people find it funny or not. It's got about 80 views after 9 minutes. If you guys could continue to watch that, that'd be fantastic. If you guys have a better name for the short, let me know. I was like, how a drummer plays with a cat. But I don't know... Heavy Metal Cat, maybe? Okay, I think we reached our goal. We had $10. We had a $10 thing, and I thought somebody gave us gifted members. Maybe I was mistaken. Maybe gifted members were on the other stream. I don't remember. Did we receive gift? It's not telling me. Maybe I just thought we received gifted members. So we're almost at our goal, actually. So if we just get like another $5 or whatever, we can vote on what you guys would like to see in Multiverses. Because like I said, I'm counting the, whatever super chats we get, I'm counting, like, toward the goal of $25. So then you guys will be able to select what you want for the next Multiversus stream. Just know, I don't have a lot of skins currently. Harley Quinn here is the last skin I have, for the new stuff until we unlock Morty or, until I get enough prestige for the 2 Gundam characters. Like, I don't really have a lot. Should we call it Heavy Metal Cat? John likes the name Heavy Metal. I think the strangest thing with everything that's going on with our culture and, you know, the war against gamers and stuff like that is my outlook or my view on everything is just a common sense opinion. So when people literally call me like a brown shirt or something like that, like these crazy people, it doesn't register because they're just so far detached from reality that the insult doesn't even stick for me because their position is just so beyond the realm of common sense that it's borderline fascist. You know, they're insane. Because I can understand if I had a radical opinion, but I just house a very common ground or common opinion that's shared, like, with most of our global audience. Like, Chad is in the Philippines. He agrees with me. We have a lurker from Japan who watches, who would agree with me. Somebody from Sweden, someone from Germany, you know, someone from Russia. It's only people in America that some of them are kind of like, no, you don't understand why this is important. But then they're like, also, yeah, we can't compromise with these people. So I share a more global opinion, which would be like more accepted by gamers from all over the world. And these activists, I don't share their opinion because they're on the wrong side of history when it comes to that. Because, again, if I would see some type of like thing where they would give people an olive branch, or they'd be kind of like not acting like crazy people, like they extort people, they harass people, they DDoS people, you know, they take all the villainous approaches to like how to be in the game industry, and they don't compromise anything. In fact, they make demands, and it's demands or death, basically. So the people that house that type of opinion, to me, they're villains because you can't reason with them. Because they don't want to even open up the door of communication with you at all, because they see your stance as archaic and old while they're the future. And that's not something that gaming has ever done. Gaming has always been like a pool of ideas that people come together and, you know, they make something great together. It's not something that you're trying to stipulate or control or tell people, you can't do this because I said so. That's their argument. You can't have this because I said so. Wow, this guy is really flexing all the different skins. I appreciate that. That's, wow. That is some flex, my friend. That is, wow. Okay, alright, alright. F's in the chat for this person, please. MamaSky Bear. Wow. That is a flex. Wow. Okay, alright, alright, alright. I'm just gonna call you Flex Man, okay? No. MamaSky. Oh my gosh. I only heard the Golden Axe theme for like a minute, and already I have it in my head. Actually, not even a minute. I just heard 30 seconds of it when I put that short up, and it's like da 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 da. It's so catchy. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Bum ba da 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 da. Yep, I appreciate the flexing. That was pretty cool. Bum ba da ba 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 da ba da bum. Isn't it awesome how most songs from 90s and 80s games, they just become so much more awesome when they get either metal or orchestral arrangements? Like, you have to remember that these songs were made to be chiptune, like very basic arcade stuff, right? But when you actually break down the compositions and you put them with real instruments, chef's kiss. You know? It's just like people are able to take like these iconic songs and transform them with real instruments, and they just become something otherworldly. You know? Because video game compositions are basically like, you know, Beethoven and Mozart were to people like during the Renaissance. You know, it was a big deal. So when they take these beautiful video game melodies that were made with like very bare bones equipment, you know, like a chiptune stuff wasn't even a full keyboard until the Super Nintendo. They had like very, very little stuff to work with, right? It transforms into this beautiful like either orchestral score or like headbanging metal theme. And it's the same notes that this person wrote, right? It's the same thing.
Okay.
But it's just, it transforms into something that is just so incredible. It's awesome. It just shows you how creative video games really are if you think about it. Like, not just the, being sucked into the worlds because of the aesthetic or, you know, how much you enjoy the gameplay. The music for a lot of these games is just so incredible, you know? And as a musician, I've always really appreciated that. Like, I probably like game covers more than I like most music. Because they just, like, I don't know. They make the music come to life in a way that wasn't possible before.
These tricks are starting to annoy me.
Harley's almost dead. You got it. Dang, I can't believe you got that already. That is impressive. You know how long it's going to take me to unlock that Samurai Jack skin? Thank you so much for showing that.
That's another one for Harley, and the crowd goes wild.
Hey Adam, how's it going? It's just, it's funny to me. So, like, we have the common sense opinion, a lot of us do. Like, I would say majority of us here all share the same opinion when it comes to gaming and stuff like that. That you guys are fine with, you know, if they want to push modern stuff, let them do it in their own game. And if you want to play the games with attractive characters, then you're going to go and buy those games. You know, you basically, you purchase the product that you like to support. That's usually what gaming is. And you're probably not for the idea of my way or the highway, do what I say. Like, a lot of you would kind of be like, wait a second, why? You know? But, like, tomorrow's topic videos, they both come from common sense point of view. Like, my Bruce Timm challenging thing, and also, like, everybody's making a big deal about Warner Brothers outsourcing their games, which is something they should have done years ago. And everybody's like, wow, what a great idea. It's like, really? Because this is something fans were asking them to do in 2015. When literally, you know, they created like a 9-year absence of one franchise, and then they completely put on the back burner another franchise. There's no reason why we shouldn't have new Lego DC games every 2 or 3 years. The reason is because Warner Brothers had no idea what they were doing and just kept canceling games. Like, they starved their consumers for about 10 years before Hogwarts Legacy. If you really think about it, they barely gave us anything as a DC or Warner Brothers fan, and you know what I'm saying is true. So the fact that people are quote-unquote applauding their decision to outsource, this is something that should have been handled years ago, because not only is it cheaper than doing it in-house, but also, like, these companies are going to do their best to deliver a product that is going to be good, that's going to sell, for one, and also, you know, they want to make money too, so they're not going to go and do all this experimental nonsense with games that might not, you know, be a hit with their audience. They're going to want to make money because, you know, it will impact their company if they don't, especially if they're a smaller company, right? The reason why Player First Game did such a great job with Multiversus is it was their first big project, and also Tony and a lot of the team people on there had a big love for DC and Cartoon Network characters. So they wanted to make a really big, important project for them, something that would come together with all their love for the different products that they would be showcasing in their game. So they were coming from it from the perspective of a fan, as well as a company that wants to try to succeed and make a cool game. But now that they're in-house at Warner Brothers, that's kind of terrifying, because I'm worried that they're going to get changed by, you know, the office politics and stuff like that. You know, what's expected of if you're in-house, and especially when you have, like, the company leaning over you. When you're a licensed developer working on a game, for the most part, you don't have, like, the parent company constantly breathing down your neck. You know, like, what's that word I'm looking for? Amber hates this term. When someone is hovering. So you don't constantly have somebody who's hovering around you and telling you, you can't do this, you can't do that. Every once in a while, you'll have, like, a big meeting where you'll go and you'll show your progress of the game. I think it's like every 6 months to a year, depending on the development. you'll go and you'll pitch your product and you'll show what's happening and take the feedback from the parent company and then go back and decide if you're going to incorporate what they want, or you'll try to, you know, add a little bit of what they want, but also keep going with the path that you've chosen to do. But if you're an in-house, then you have to do exactly what the parent company says, because they're the ones who are financing you. Whereas you were paid to you were given this property and you paid to license it out or whatever. And you know, you're going to do good with that product. Case in point, Rocksteady, when they first did the Arkham franchise, they were not an in-house WB developer. They were like a developer that was, I wouldn't say indie, but they were, you know, teamed up with Eidos when they did Arkham Asylum, and they worked with Paul Dini and stuff like that. And then when they became in-house with Arkham Knight, what was one of the first things that happened with Arkham Knight? Do you guys remember? Paul Dini was out. They had Sefton Hill write the game. So a lot of the creative input that came from like companies that weren't working with WB as an in-house studio, those were gone from the picture. And Arkham Knight was still a pretty solid game. But what you're seeing is the game that came after Arkham Knight from Warner Brothers was the Suicide Squad, and that was purely in-house, and it was terrible, right? So when Warner Brothers actually has their games outsourced, my argument is those games tend to do much better, because you don't have any hovering, you don't have any expectations or constant changing expectations like you would if you're actually part of that company. The company can tell you everything that you have to do. Whereas if you are licensing out a product, you know, you can offer feedback, but the company is more or less going to make the game that they want. They don't have constant interference. You know what I mean? So we'll see if this new change to player-first games is a good thing or a bad thing going forward. Whoops. Sorry, I was changing the music. Sorry, flexing man. Whoop. Whoop. And if you guys are on the fence about the X-Men characters in Fortnite, I'll be showing them tomorrow. So if you're not able to afford them or whatever, you'll get to see what the characters are like, and then you can come to the conclusion if you want to pick up the characters or not. Because I just got paid, so I should be able to show stuff. Wow! Boom! Nicely done! Wow, we got good teamwork. We got really good teamwork. I'm gonna miss playing with this guy.
I stink and Harley rules. I agree.
You're losing interest in Multiverse? I mean, it's gonna go season by season. Like, I mean, I can't even... People are like, hey, I really like your channel, but I noticed you're not playing Multiverses as much anymore. It's like, I milked out Multiverses because of the rifts. Like, I literally was able to play so much of Multiverses because of how deep and difficult the rifts were. And, you know, I could make so much content around that. Look at Season 1. Look at the difference. Season 1 had so many rifts, right? And not only that, but look at all the different difficulties. So I made like a Multiversus Mayhem rift. Then I did Multiversus Mayhem Rift Crushing. Multiverse Mayhem Lunatic. You know? Or Loony or whatever. I cannot milk another flexor. I cannot milk this game the way that I did in Season 1 because it's changed. The rifts are completely different. Now rifts are just one live stream that covers two difficulties, right? It covers the easy mode, and then we come in with a second player, and the rift is done that stream. I can't prolong something that I've already done. Also, most of my streams, when it comes to like after a game's already been out, and I do the DLC or I do a new skin, it's just for that skin. So I feel like Multiverses is always going to have more stuff for me to constantly stream than, say, like Fortnite, where I just like see a new character, I buy it, and then I do a showcase of, because for the most part, the Battle Pass doesn't interest me, right? Multiverses, the Battle Pass is something that I like doing because there's always stuff that you get in the Battle Pass. Like, our next costume is going to be Jake Randy. So by the time we get to Jake, we can do a stream series, or a stream dedicated to that Jake. Just like we can do a stream dedicated to this skin. Or a stream dedicated to this skin. And this skin. But right there, that's only 5 or 6 more streams, right? So every few weeks, they release a new character, and then I purchase it, and we try to milk this game as best we can. But it's all based on, you know, what content they add to the game. And thankfully, they have new stuff coming to the game soon, right? So this shop will keep changing, like every, I think it's 2 weeks or something like that. They'll keep adding new skins or something like that. And that's kind of how we go about this. But Multiversus, if you go back and you watch our Season 1 coverage, I did several live streams on just the rifts. And, you know, from crushing difficulty to looning and stuff like loony, that's how I, you know, kept Multiversus going on YouTube, is I had a lot of streams where I covered it. I don't like to go over and do stuff I've already done. Like, there has to be, as a consumer and as a content creator, there has to be some type of hook that brings the audience to you to see something that they want to see. Case in point, you know, hack and smash Harley Quinn, brand new skin, right? Not everyone can afford this character. Years ago, this would have been a big draw, but, you know, shadow ban channel. Same thing with Superman Regeneration. That's something people want to see. And eventually I'll unlock that character and I'll do a stream dedicated to that. But that's how a lot of YouTubers do this as well, is when there's new content, we do showcases and incorporate what you want to see in that. I just don't stream Multiversus just for the sake of it, because one, there's no draw. If I just did a Multiversus stream without highlighting a new character or a new skin, no one would attend. So, that would be poorly on my business, right? So, is crushing harder? Yes. Yeah. Crushing and Looney are insane, but I don't think crushing is as hard as it was in Season 1. I feel like the rift difficulty's been toned down a little bit. Flexing. Okay, who is this? This is, who is this guy? This is, okay. Ah, yes. O-L-A-D-L. I mean, I'm kind of kicking myself in the head, though, because I wish I did the X-Men games back when Wolverine and Deadpool first came out, because those series would have hit a lot harder than they are right now. But since I'm averaging about 1,000 views a stream anyway for the Wolverine game, I'm thinking that's going to happen too with the X2 game. And then that series, the X2 game, is a little bit longer than X-Men, the official game, X-Men 3 or whatever, is a little bit longer than that game. So then by the time that wraps up, we'll be ready to start the Gundam game that we'll have early access to in the Star Wars game. The Star Wars game is going to be very, very hard for me to keep my mouth shut, because we already have emails for Ubisoft that they're requiring us to fill out something that basically says that we're not going to deviate from what they want us to showcase. And I don't know if I'm going to do that, because I don't like it when companies basically try to dangle the carrot in front of me and tell me to do something in order to get early access to something. I would much prefer to buy the game and then just do it myself. But at the same time, I don't want to burn bridges with Ubisoft, because Amber's been the one communicating with them for over a year now. So one false step and Kwing going all New Yorker on Ubisoft, that bridge is totally burned to ashes. And that would break my wife's heart, because she's been working very hard with Capcom and Ubisoft. So it's like, what do I do? Do I be a good husband, or do I be a good gamer and speak my mind? Do I speak the truth, or do I just clam up and take the free game? Like, you know, that's the position I am with this, is like, what do I do? The right thing to do would be, like, don't hurt your wife's feelings and just take the game and try to, you know, limit your amount of criticism to, like, sarcasm, because woke people don't understand sarcasm. I can get away with a lot because they just think I'm being condescending. They don't know what sarcasm is, because, you know, they don't understand it. Which is true, because I've fired back at, like, lots of, like, haters that are SJWs, and when I'm sarcastic with them, they think I'm just being aggressive to them, so they don't actually understand anything. It's funny.
Let's get this started.
But I mean, I think that with the Star Wars game, I'm just going to play the game and just keep it like very sarcastic. Because I guarantee you the person watching it, they might be able to understand my tone. And I'm not meaning you guys, I mean Ubisoft has to approve stuff, right? You have to upload your video unlisted, and they have to approve if it's acceptable to air or not. That's what they're doing with the Star Wars game. That's why Ubisoft is so backwards right now, is because they're taking such a weird stance with this game. And the reviewers that have looked at the game, they've given it a high score, even though the game is average. Like, there are people praising the combat in the game when the combat isn't that good for a Star Wars game. Like, there's been Star Wars games that came out 20 years ago that had better combat, right? But because they want those exclusives and they want the early access, a lot of these journalists, you know, they compromise their integrity in order to keep that relationship going. And at the same point, you know, I'm kind of at that same stance too, is because my wife was the one who continued the relationship with Ubisoft. I didn't, because I don't like where Ubisoft is going, so I haven't, you know, been answering emails from years for them. I just didn't want to. Outside of, I was working directly with the developer who did the racing car game that Ubisoft released. And I wasn't actually in communication with Ubisoft, I was working with the car people. What was the name of that game? Give me a minute. It's a car game. It wasn't Forza. It was a Crew. So I was working with the game developer who made the Crew. Like the studio that actually made the game that works for Ubisoft. So I was partnered through them. But Amber's actually partnered through Ubisoft. So, I don't know. The right thing to do would be just to buy the game ourselves and do that, but at the same time, even if I bought the game, Ubisoft's probably going to take offense. So, I don't know. It's something I have to sleep on. I have a couple weeks yet that I could figure something out, because the game's not until the end of the month.
Are you really powerful or just really lucky?
But oh, why would he do that? Why would you teabag when it was you barely won? You barely won. That was literally one hit away. See, that right there, that's the definition of a toxic gamer. This guy right here. That's toxicity. Sorry about that, Superman. Okay, so we have 1 win, 1 loss. Alright, next one with Soups. Have I ever played Catwoman on GameCube? I reviewed it. I had to do Catwoman for GameCube for GotGame.com. And a Nintendo blog site. I reviewed it. I did not like the game. We have it still. It's upstairs. Why? An Ultimate already forced Amber to play that game. She hated it. Wait, no. She liked it. She liked part of it. I think. I know the game's bad, though. The publication I wrote for gave the game a 4 out of 10 for the Catwoman game. They gave the Batman Begins game that came out in 2005 a 7 at the publication that gave like the Catwoman game a 4. Yep, time for mute. We're right. I'm right there with you guys and gals. Yep. The thing is, the difference between Multiversus and Smash Brothers is I never got bored with Smash Brothers because Smash Brothers was a superior game, right? Smash Brothers was always hype. Smash Brothers had lots of cool stuff. And I might be mistaken in this. Maybe you guys agree with this. But I feel that Multiversus is like a cool console mobile game. It has elements of a great console game, but it feels like it has a lot of aspects of it that make it like a mobile game that you can play free to play. There are things you can pay for, yes, but there's a lot of stuff you can unlock if you put in the time. If you put in the grind, you can unlock a lot of the game's content, right? But it doesn't always feel like a console game to me per se. Like, it feels like the identity that this game has is that of a mobile game. A good mobile game, but it doesn't have the same appeal or hype factor or funness, not funness, or fun factor of Smash Brothers. Like, Smash Brothers is a great game, like, right out the bat, right? They added season passes and all that other stuff later on, but Smash Brothers was always a game that you could just go and play, and it was fun every single time. You know, your audience... We milked that game for, like, 4 years. Amber did a whole community stream series on it. She made, like, 210 episodes of Smash Brothers. In fact, a lot of people don't get this, but Amber covered Smash Brothers Ultimate more than I did. Amber made more of an impact in the Smash Brothers community than I ever have. You know? So she kept that game going for a long time. And every time people played with her, they had fun. And it was just it's because Smash Brothers is a superior game, though. Multiversus is a game that's only as good as the new content that comes out. Like, right now, you have all these interesting characters that we know are coming out in Multiversus, right? Beetlejuice is in September, or might even be at the end of August, I don't know. And you have Raven is supposedly coming, and Aquaman, and maybe Wacko, or the Wicked Witch, or whatever. So you have content that you know is coming that keeps you craving more, right? But at the same time, a lot of us knew stuff was coming in Smash Brothers, like, because Sakurai teased it, but we still had a complete game to keep us continually playing week to week without the promise of future content and leaks, right? Multiversus only survives based on, like, the community's hype for what's next in the game. In fact, have you noticed, too, when these new characters come out, most of the people who have mains and stuff like that, outside of Ranked, they only play as the new characters that release because they want to play as the new characters. They want to go for the new skins. You know, it's got that kind of like Fortnite appeal that I think works perfectly for this game. Like, the Battle Pass is a great idea because it gives people something to strive for to continue to play the game. But once you complete the Battle Pass, which, you know, I'm taking my time with, but I'm almost done with the Season 2 Battle Pass that lasts for how many days? How many days does that say? Does that say 36 days left of the Battle Pass? What does that say, guys and gals? My eyesight is terrible. I'm like, corrected, I'm like 2070 or 2080, so I'm technically legally blind. I can't read that. I think that says 30 days. But Smash was always awesome because Smash Brothers was a product that was made with love. It was made with perfection. And every character was amazing. There are so many characters in Multiverses that are only as good as their next update, right? Or they get really bad after the next update. Out of all the tweaking that they did to Smash Brothers characters, are the characters still all fun to play with? Would you say that there's a character that's absolutely garbage tier in Smash Brothers? No, you can't say that. Because every character you pick up, you feel like is a great character. And then it just has to be you, the person behind it, in order to tune up the vehicle to get it to perform the way you want it to. Like, everyone is going to play the character differently than you. However, in Multiverses, the character's only as good as its update. There can be updates that completely ruin a character, like Batman or Taz. And there can be updates that, you know, tweak the character to make them more powerful again, like Iron Giant and stuff like that. It all depends on what they do in their quote-unquote updates. They're always constantly going to be changing the game, so some characters are going to be good and some characters are going to be garbage. Some characters started out S tier, they ended up F, right? Smash Brothers, you can't say that. Every Smash Brothers character in the hands of a skilled player is an awesome character. But anyone can pick up and play their favorite character and do well in it. Sorry, my mic cut out. I really need to get a better microphone. But that's what made Smash Brothers so compelling, though. Like, I think Multiverses could get to the point, like, now that they're at Warner Brothers, maybe they can cut, like, a lot of these balancing updates out. But I feel like when a new character comes out, it's only as good as the new character that releases. Like right now, everyone and their mom is playing Samurai Jack, right? How many players do you see outside of ranked using their characters they used before a lot of these new characters? I still see people playing as Samurai Jack. I see more Jokers. I see lots of Agent Smiths. I see tons of Jasons. Do you want to know what I don't see anymore as often? I don't see any Iron Giant players. I don't see a lot of Batman. I don't see a lot of Black Adam, Garnets. I don't see a lot of Spikes anymore because Spike got nerfed. So people aren't playing for the love of their character. They're playing for the character that they can win with. Whereas in Smash Brothers, as the old saying goes, Smash Brothers chooses... You don't choose your character. Smash chooses you. So your main might actually be someone that you're not even expecting that you're good with. You could be a super fan of Legend of Zelda, but you're good with Donkey Kong, right? It all depends. Let's see, who was that? I played... Do I have one more match with this person? Yeah, okay, I have one more. You're going to go Iron Giant for your last one? Okay. Sorry, Stripe, not Spike. Sorry. Stripe. That was a mess up on my part. Stripe. I meant Stripe. I said Spike. I was in the S thing, but I said the wrong character. I've only seen Gremlins like twice in my life. That's why I was very surprised they ended up in Multiversus, because it was like, oh, a movie from my childhood that I watched twice. I'm like, okay. Sure, why not?
Let's get this started.
Same thing. When Beetlejuice comes out, though, how many people are you still going to see playing as, like, Wonder Woman and Superman and all this other stuff? Like, the first, like, couple weeks that the new character's out, everyone's going to be playing as Beetlejuice. Or people will still be playing as the characters from Season 1 or Season 2. How many people are still playing a lot of the characters from the beta? Not many people. You have a couple people that are really good with Wonder Woman, but for the most part, they play as new characters. Why? Because the appeal of the game, what makes people keep playing, is the new characters. That's how strong the game is. So, when they stop releasing new characters, that's when the game will dry up, because this game will not survive without the appeal of new. Smash Brothers people still play it, even though that game hasn't had new content in so many years, right? This game will not survive without the new content, without crossovers, without new riffs and all that other stuff. Uh-oh.
Unleashed the full wrath of Mojo Jojo. It was me.
I'm glad I didn't run off the side. Yay. I was thinking, oh no, I'm going to run off the side and my team's going to lose, but for whatever reason my character got to stay still. It's like, yeah! But the thing is, I mean, that law doesn't apply to games like Tekken or Street Fighter that are just fun always. The additional content is great, but Tekken and Street Fighter are such solid fighting games that people still find a way of playing those games long after they're no longer getting new content, right? That's the difference. Multiversus, like I said, it's like a good mobile game. It's fun, it's addictive, but it has a season. So once that content dries up, immediately you'll see Multiversus go from like 10,000 active players to like 100. Because people are only sticking around for what's next in the game. That's the problem with, quote, modern games today, is they're good, but the only reason people keep playing them is because more content is injected into them. When you pull the plug on the new characters and new stages and riffs and stuff like that, this game will dry up so fast it'll make your head spin. And they won't even wait like a couple years to shut off the server. You know what I mean? There were still a lot of people playing Smash Brothers Wii U 3DS until they shut off the online server. And there are tons of people right now, like the amount of people playing Smash Brothers Ultimate dwarfs the people that are playing Multiversus. Even though there's no new content, there's still an active community of people, like on forum sites and Reddit and all kinds of stuff, that are actively playing Smash Brothers so much. Because Smash Brothers is a superior product. It's a completed product too. And like I said, I'm a content creator for Multiversus, so I don't hate Multiversus. What I'm just saying is the truth, though. It is what it is, right? It's not that Multiversus is a bad game, it's just in its DNA. That's what it was designed to do. Is it's only as good as the next content that comes out for it. As long as the public has interest in the new character, they'll continue to play the game. Oh, that's MamaSky. Sorry, wrong people. Sorry, guys. If you get invited and I already played with you, don't play. Because I'm trying to get some people who haven't gotten a chance to play today. Does that make sense? If people want to. If not, I'm going to go in the Rift and do some stuff. So you think people are watching your short, Link? Let's see. Are people watching your short? Heavy Metal Cat? Should I call it Heavy Metal Cat? Let's try renaming it. Da 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 da. Okay, so we've kind of reached. Whoops! I sent the invite to the same person again. I'm sorry. Alright, J-Cat, you. But also, it's not just me. There's a lot of people that have problems with the friend invite system, too. I've seen forums dedicated to this and people complaining on Reddit and other places like, the netcode is great, but when I want to play with my friends, it doesn't let me. So there are a lot of people, especially on PlayStation, that have this problem. So I don't know if it's a PlayStation problem or if it's something else. Maybe call it Heavy Metal Cat Exercise. I don't know. The problem is, if Disney made a game like Multiversus, it would be exactly like Multiversus. There would be a battle pass, there would be new skins in the shop. They would probably do the same thing that this game did. Most likely. But the only reason that I continue to come into the game and try to unlock stuff is because, like, I too am trying to finish my battle pass. Alright, let's go yeet Steven Universe characters for a little bit, and then we'll try to play with some people. So we're gonna get rid of Steven real quick. Oh, there are daily rewards and other aspects of this? Interesting. I didn't know that. Alright, we're gonna dive into the Rift real quick. Now, doing the daily rewards is important so that you unlock characters. Are we doing Zenless Zone Zero tomorrow? Almost. So Amber's Zenless Zone stream is at 970 views. X-Men is getting a finale tomorrow. Then the Wolverine game is starting up. No Multiversus tomorrow. Fortnite tomorrow. I called it heavy metal cat exercise. I don't know if that's gonna work out or not. Maybe it will. Guess we'll find out. But see, we have a small problem. Like, there's not enough new games coming out until the end of the month. That's a problem. Like the Cat Quest game, I heard it did not so well. I was looking forward to the Cat Quest game, but I didn't get paid by YouTube yet, so I couldn't look at it even if I wanted to. I mean, you can't you can't make content on games if you don't have the money to do it, right? And I was dependent on payment, so had to wait. But as far as I know, there aren't any big games coming out until the end of the month. In fact, let me just double check that. Is it over here? Yeah, Blade was 1998. Video game releases August. And I'm gonna get to the Rift real quick, guys. I'm just don't mind me. Let's go down to video game releases August of this month. I don't think there's anything of interest because I can't play that awesome Monkey King game that came out because that's rated M. I mean, I can play it. It's not like I'm saying I can't play that game because it's rated M. I can't play it on this channel. This channel only works with E through T rated games. Because someday, someone is going to get intelligent who actually works at YouTube again, and they'll be able to do proper branding, and they'll see that this channel actually caters to like gamers that enjoy E through T rated games, and we won't blemish our brand by doing too much like M rated content so that we can be easily advertiser friendly. That's the whole reason why we do that. So you had Cat Quest 3 come out. Wait, did it come out? I thought it came out. Why do I not see it here? Yeah, Cat Quest 3 came out on August 8th. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Nope, not going to do that. Sam and Max Devil's Playhouse on the 14th, remastered. That could be interesting if it's rated T. Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox. That's a point-and-click game. Kena Bridge of Spirits. Wasn't that a PlayStation game at one point? Yeah, it was. So that's coming to Xbox now. Pass. Castaway, the 16th of August. Black Myth is the Goku game. That's the 20th. Stumble Guys, Nintendo Switch. I don't remember what that is. Concord's official release is the 23rd. That's going to bomb. Fairy Tale Dungeons. Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. I don't know what that is. Is that the Hobbit game? Is that the Hobbit game? No. Lord of the Rings Return to Moria is a 2023 survival crafting video game developed by Free Range Games and published by North Beach Games. It's based on the fictional world of J.L. Tolkien. Well, of course it's based on Tolkien. It already came out, though. Why is it saying it? Oh, it's coming out for Xbox. Meh. Not seeing anything, not seeing anything, not seeing anything. Gundam Breaker isn't until August 29th. Gundam Breaker should have been earlier in the month. Like, Gundam Breaker should have released, like, around the 15th or something of August. I don't know why they're saving it until the 29th. This is the problem I have with this. Is because There's a Fairy Tale Beach Volleyball game that comes out in September. I kind of want to play that. Because September, you have a lot of games that come out. Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. It's on the 3rd of September. Age of Mythology. Ace Attorney Investigations on the 6th of September. Astrobot sequel. What else? Lollipop Chainsaw. Can't do that one. I'm surprised that's able to re-release. Star Wars Jedi Survivor on PS4 and Xbox. That's weird. What is that about? That game already came out. What is that? Karate Kid, Street Stumble. No. Where's the Zelda game now? Oh, it's the 26th? Oh, wow. Okay, I thought Zelda came out sooner. So, I mean, there's really not a lot going on. So, me playing the Wolverine games makes sense because, I mean, there's a market for it right now. And there's really nothing new until the end of the month. No, I can't play Rugrats. That's Kappa. Nope, 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 nope. Can't do that. Yeah, I'm not doing Stray again. I liked Stray, don't get me wrong, but I'm not playing it again. Also, I don't want to play the downgraded version on Switch. I don't want to be that guy, but I don't want to play it on Switch. You know how many times that game's going to crash on Switch? Nope. No thanks.
Another
I'm good.
land full of
I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Whoa, whoa.
Match point from Blue Team.
Da 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 da. Yep, the new Marvel season starts Friday, so that means... I have a question for you guys. Did Amber further along the Magneto thing? When she did the Fortnite thing, did you guys help her do the Magneto thing, or... What's left to do to get classic Magneto? Would I ever do a challenge run for Batman? What is that? What would be the challenge? I'm just curious, what do you guys mean by that? Da 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 da. Good job, Linky. Linky with his powerful little yawn. Kawaii. Good boy. Who's a good boy? He's a good boy. So we have Crunchies in the house again. All she did was play as... Oh, okay, so what do we have left to do?
Let's get this started.
Let's see what that blade can do. Change places.
Oops.
You thought you'd see the last of me? That was impressive.
Match point for Blue Team.
Match point, Blue Team.
Oh, that's friggin' you know?
Salty.
It's my own fault for thinking you'd be different.
I'm curious about this Arkham challenge. What is this Arkham challenge? Oops. I never did this. Who cares? Play as an assassin. Oh, that's in ranked. Who wants to do ranked? Most people don't even like ranked. It's true though, most people don't like ranked. Alright, so we do this here. Cleanse 2 debuffs. I don't know. Right, Harley, you're up because we can. Edit gems, use auto, whatever it is, who cares? Let's go.
Let's get this started.
My roommate thinks I have anger issues.
What is the Rift Beacon challenge? John, can you explain that? Oops. Oh wow, they made him massive now. I like this. I like that the characters get bigger though. You can actually see what you're doing. Whoopsies. Not cool, dude. That's one down. Ow. I'm all frozen. Oof. Smack. Meow. Hi, Linky. So I pretty much have YouTube Shorts for Injustice like all this week. Like, ow, ow. Back off, creep. No, I died. So since we have like some of you guys here, we basically hit our super chat goal, more or less. What character would you guys like to see for the next stream dedication? Hi. Because you guys did about $21. You're just short the 25, but still good enough. Because I said like we would vote as a community. Like what kind of stuff would you like to see in Multiversus? You want to do a free-for-all stream? You want... What would you like to do? Is there a particular character you'd like to see? Like, here's what we'll do. We'll put it to a vote. Because this is done. This is done here. Missions. I don't think I'm gonna unlock another character anytime soon, but we do have. What were the new characters from the Battle Pass? We're not anywhere near Jake yet. So we're not Jake. So we've unlocked from the Battle Pass who hasn't received a stream. Biker Gizmo hasn't received a stream. Biker Gizmo. Unmentionable Bugs did get a stream. Pink Diamond Steven did not get a stream. Buddy's Book Garnet didn't get a stream. Samurai Jack got a stream. Shirtless Wonder got a stream. Dr. Sanchez got a stream. Powered Up Superman got a stream. Harley has a stream. Boop, 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 boop. Golfer Marvin hasn't got a stream. I do not have any of these skins yet. I never got one of these. Whoopsies. Have to get one of these, though. I don't know which one I'd get, though. I haven't done one of those. And for Prestige, we've done Wonder Woman 84 from this season. So Wonder Woman 84 had a stream. That's about it. So here's what we'll do. We're going to vote. What else? 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 Ow, my neck. Alright, people, you may choose one of these options for your next Multiversus stream because you hit the Super Chat goal, essentially. You're like $4 short, but I'm feeling generous tonight because this stream's going to get 1,000 views anyway. Okay, there you go. Community picks next Multiversus stream sometime this week. Free for all, Biker Gizmo, Pink Diamond Steven, or Tom and Jerry Cyberpunk. Those are your options. Choose them wisely. Alright, so that's done. Then we go to Season 2 have... Oh, okay, so... Interesting. Interesting. Oh, never mind. The daily rewards are still here. Ha 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 ha. Daily rewards are gone from here now. But we still have Season 1 daily rewards. I did not know that. Alright, let's go to Crushing. Crushing makes things interesting. Do 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 da 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 da. Hi Phantom Walker, how you doing? More daily. Whoops. Daily riffs. More riffs. Whoa. You're voting for Steven? You guys are allowed to vote for Hugh. Yeah, I can't speak anymore. Where's my teleprompter? What is it, buddy? Why are you way over there? What's up? Meow. Here, buddy. Hey. Hey, pal. Hey. Who's a good boy? Got your crunchies. You got your crunchies, right? Got your crunchies. We have to do that honorary ultimate stream for what's his name too. You're not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. That's news to me because my equipment says everything is golden, but whatever. Whatever, YouTube. Are you trying to censor the stuff I was talking about?
Let's get this started.
Enemies again, huh? Typical.
Am I excited for the next Fortnite season? Absolute doom. Yeah. I'll be doing the X-Men tomorrow. There's no Multiversus stream tomorrow. You guys are just voting for a Multiversus stream sometime this week. You mostly have a Marvel week because you have the X-Men game is wrapping up tomorrow, right? And then you have a new X-Men game that has never been done on this channel, X-Men 2, Wolverine's Revenge, starring Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill was the voice of Wolverine in that. It's a good game. It's more of a stealth game, though. It's not really a, how do I put this? It's not an action game, per se. And then I might be doing Wolverine Origins on Wii, because I can't do the PS3 one on this channel, because it's... the PS3 Uncaged Edition is a bit... what's the word I'm looking for? a bit too much for this this channel. Heads will roll, and limbs, and torsos, and Wolverine's claws. Wolverine's claws do not miss. I've actually never played the Wii version of Wolverine, Origins Wolverine. I heard it's a completely different game, so. Good night, Nicholas. Thanks for hanging out. Now, hang on, Batman. No, I don't want to read this. I don't care. Hang on, Batman. Looks like you guys want a free-for-all stream.
Let's get this started.
It's a Marvel week. Yeah, I did miss what you said about the Arkham Challenge. I'm sorry. John or Ahmad, if you guys could highlight the comment about the Arkham Challenge, I'm curious. I probably missed it when I was doing my in-depth chat. Bam.
Match point for blue team. Getting sloppy if a clownfish.
Buns are armed, so you'll get harmed.
I'm taking you down.
Dun, 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 dun.
I stink and Harley rules. I agree.
Alright, you guys ready to kill Stevenverse over and over again? Harley, what are you doing? Is there something wrong with Harley? Is Harley glitched? Harley looks glitched. Oh wow, that's a lot of stuff. Let's go crushing, because I can. Oh my goodness. Harley versus Oh, Shaggy has to beat Harley. Okay, whatever. Uncle Shagsworthy, yes, quite right. Oh, it's okay.
Let's get this
You can
started.
always DM me, John, or you can leave a comment on here and I can read it about the Marvel or the Rifts. Or you can leave the comment on the last Fortnite stream, because I'm going to be getting the Fortnite stream set up tomorrow, tonight. I'm going to be doing Cyclops, Colossus, and Jubilee. Bye-bye.
Match point for blue team.
Uncle Shaggy is going to deliver the knockdown. Bye-bye. Off you go then, lass. Goodbye. Yeah, so it was rough. I lost my voice for like... how many hours did I lose my voice? I couldn't talk for...
Victory feast.
My goodness. How many hours? Good while. Do I have to complete? You have to win the match in order to do the jump rope? You're evil, game. I can't do that. I only have to do it 10 times. Okay. Gotta be back to the past, Samurai Jack. Aw. Thank you very much for the,
Let's get this started.
super sticker. Super sticker. Well, I guess we totally cleared our super chat goal. Thank you very much. So yeah, you're able to vote for what Multiversus stream you guys would like, as per accordance with the super chat goal. Oh, what? Why can't I do this? Oh, they're gonna give it to me anyway. Okay.
What a
Yay!
silly place.
I'm happy. They're gonna give it to me anyway. Score! Why did they have to get rid of the taunt ability, man? That's so stupid. It's like, they really don't like the community. They had to get rid of our fun taunt. Linky, careful with that, buddy. So it looks like you guys want a free-for-all stream. So what we'll do is we'll have like several characters on this. I call it Smash Brothers.
Let's get this
For
started.
a free-for-all, we're gonna have several characters on the thumbnail. We'll have 4 characters, and it's gonna say free-for-all Multiversus. That's what you guys voted for.
Ain't nobody
31
does it
votes so
like
far.
I do.
52% of the vote.
Townsville, or Mojo Jojo.
After all, you guys paid top dollar for it.
Jojo shall be your doom.
Smack my Tom up. Bam.
These clowns are getting hit.
Bye, Tom.
Match point.
Match point, Tom. Did I ever get Summer Tom and Jerry? No, I don't think so. Time to die. Booyah! Speed run Arkham City and
Minutes to bad rubbish.
Speed run Arkham City and Arkham Asylum. Ooh, don't I get lost in those games? Now, is it just speed run the story or speed run the whole thing? If it's speed run the story, that's a possibility. But if it's like speed run the whole thing, I don't know. Alright, Linky, how's your short doing, buddy? People watching you? Is things getting better? Things getting worse? You were at 471 after 1 hour. Where are you now? So 1 hour and 19 minutes, you're at 500 views. So I don't think that's the right... I don't think that's the right name. I don't think Heavy Metal Cat Exercises is a good name. You guys come up with a better one. We'll try that for the next 30 minutes or something like that. It's got 500 views for the short. One DC character, one Cartoon Network character, Bugs and Shaggy in the thumbnail. That's what you want, Max? I can do that. Free for all. What were we doing again? Oh, right, Harley. You got scared by the fish. Oh, Linky.
Let's get
Yeah,
this
if you can
started.
retype it, Jimmy, John will get it. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I like
Shark.
goons with giant hammers.
Life's the shark.
Get stomped, creep.
So bam.
Whoops.
Boink.
Sorry about your face. And stay down.
Hey. Do that. Link. Yeah. Yatta.
Something I learned in Arkham.
I'll defend the Candy Kingdom to my last kill.
I'm more proud of my doctorate, but this is good too.
What are console commands? Do I even use console commands? I don't know how to do all enemies are armored. Is he talking like something through Steam or something?
Let's get this started.
Is that what's going on? Is that a Steam thing or no?
My roommate thinks I have anger issues.
Because I don't know how to mod.
Let's see
I've actually been asking you guys for help modding Batman because I have Batman Arkham Knight on Steam. But I don't know how to mod it. I would love to. Do 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 do. Oops. I missed. Phooey. Well, that was well timed, so we kind of. Linky. What's up, kitty? Hello, Linky. Oh! A balloon got away. Okay, that's
Success.
Hey, buddy. No. Don't mess with my mouse. I need that to live stream.
I'm more proud of my doctorate, but this is good too.
Why is your paw all wet? Did you stick your paw in the water? Come here. No. Don't do what I think you're gonna do. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, little guy. You're gonna be doing this when I edit that Batman video later? Huh? Huh? What? You are a very pretty kitty, but you're a very weird kitty. What you want? Why are you bringing that over? I can't play with you right now. Also, remember, you broke that toy. Like, there's hardly anything left of that. And you just took my mouse with you. Thank you very much for that. No, you almost shut the stream down. Stop. No. Where's the squirt button? Link! I cannot play with you right now. I am streaming. Give me your toy. Give me your... Yeah, here. Go get it. Go get it. I threw it. Go play with that. Don't play with my mouse. It's not a real mouse. Okay, I'm trying to do something important here. Trying to unlock battle pass stuff. You're interrupting me. Stop it. No. I will. What? You want the Golden Axe music again? Yeah, I'm not modding a console. The last console I had modded was PS2, and then it broke. I had a modded console for the PS2. I paid top dollar for it when I was in college, so I could play burned PS2 games. And then I'll tell you what happened. 5 years after it was modded, it broke. So that's why my PS2 doesn't work, is because my PS2 was modded. I could play all kinds of games on it. And eventually what happened is they don't tell you this, but when you mod a console, like, it kills your console. It may not kill it right away, but over time, it doesn't last as long as someone who didn't mod their PS2. So I had a buddy who bought his PS2 the same time as mine. I modded mine. The first thing that died on it was the DVD player. So after 2 years, the DVD player no longer worked. I could play PlayStation 2 games that were modded, but PS1 modded games no longer worked, and PS regular games didn't work either. So I couldn't play original PlayStation games either. The only thing that worked were store-bought PS2 games, and then eventually, after the Kim Possible series, the PS2 died, and then I just never felt like getting another PS2. Because I don't have any... most of my PS2 games I had were, like, burned PS2 games. I have, like, a handful of, like, store-bought. Like, MVC, Kim Possible, stuff like that. But all my Devil May Cry games and stuff like that, those were burned by friends. So, there's no way to play those ever again. They're just basically... It's like having CDs with names on it. Like, you burned, like, a CD to listen to music or something. It's just I have a binder... half full of that stuff, because that was very common in the 2000s. Like, people would do that because the price for games were very expensive, and you know, companies didn't have a way to protect against that. When the PS2 came out, Sony specifically made it so that people couldn't do that. But the funny thing is, what people forget is you actually had game stores back in the day like saying, yeah, if you buy the system you can modify it and then you can do this and that. And it's like you could rent games from Blockbuster and all this other stuff. There were literally employees telling people how to do it. Because, you know, everybody did it back then. And then when they found ways of counteracting that, when they released the PS3 and the Xbox 360, people were like, oh, I guess, you know, that stuff was wrong. If the developers found a way of preventing that. But there was no early protections on PS2 games or PlayStation. You could burn those like crazy. They implemented protection when the next consoles came out. But yeah, that was a selling point that people used to do. They were like, hey, you want to pick up this system? It's like, you can mod it. Oh, wow, really? Yeah, it was very common. What are you doing, Linky? What are you doing? I'm not saying that it was right or anything. It's just, it was common. Like, a lot of people, 2000 through 2003 did it. And then when Sony had protection, I think they started to implement protective measures in 2006, 2005. Uh-oh. Linky, don't be back there. 1 second. Ah! Back off, furball. Okay. Alright, so did we do everything? I think we did everything today. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, but people are like, why don't you show off your PS2 collection? It's like, I'm kind of... I don't want to. Because I can't. People will be like, hey, why doesn't that look like an official PS2 game? It's like, what are you talking about? It's got the marker right there. It says the name of the game. It says Devil May Cry. But yeah, I've never showed off my PS2 collection because they're not real games. Also, they'll never work again anyway, so there's just like these CDs that are just there. But yeah, that's why I became like kind of like, you shouldn't modify stuff because for one, it ruins, you know, it's piracy, and two, your console doesn't live that long. Plus, I mean, if you ever want to play those games again, you'd have to buy them all over again or something because it's not going to work on your console. It's true. I think when I became a game journalist, though, in 2004, I was very convicted about that, so I, you know, never did it again. But I did it from, like, 2000... most of the kids in my school did. Like, 2001 through, like, 2003. Something like that. And how a lot of us, like, got... I guess you would say, like, felt less guilt is because we would rent a game from Blockbuster, so you'd pay for half of it. You would pay to rent the game, and then you'd burn it. But it's still like, it felt wrong, but literally, that's what they were telling people to do. There was a guy in our town who worked at the Best Buy, and he would tell people all the time, yeah, you just go to this website, you buy this kit, and he says, if you come like after Best Buy, I can mod it for you. And he was making business on the side because he was modding people's PS2s in that area of Chicago. He had a whole side hustle going. Yeah, And he never got caught either. He just got... What happened was he got married, and he became a Christian, so he got, like, super convicted. And he was like, what I did was wrong, so I'm closing down my business, and I threw out all the stuff I ever did. And he says, I'm a different man now. It's like, you should throw out your stuff too, Luke. It's like, I'm not as holy or as thou is, so, you know. I don't even use my PS2 anymore. I have a PS3, and I bought games for it. It's like, it was a time in my life where I did do that, but I don't do it anymore. And I didn't. Like, eventually I was like, kind of like, yeah, it's not good to do this. Even though, you know, it's so socially acceptable. In the gaming circles, it's not something you should be doing. The Xbox community was super modded, though. I think it was actually the Xbox, like the original Xbox, that kind of started that whole movement where you could, like, burn, using, like, computers, you could burn CDs and copy whole games and stuff like that. They did it for a long time till Xbox 360. And they didn't feel any guilt about it because it was normal. It was like, yeah, man, Xbox is like a supercomputer. We can do this. We can even watch movies on it and do all this other stuff. It's like, whoa. But yeah, I was a pirate a long time ago. A lot of people were, though, from my age. A lot of reasons why people did it. I'm glad that they have stuff involved now where they can... what's the word I'm looking for? They can implement things that prevent people from doing stuff. I'm sure there are people who have found a way around it, but for most people who aren't, like, very computer savvy, I'm sure it stopped a lot of it. When PS3 released, like, a lot of people couldn't do stuff anymore. Which is good. I know Nintendo is really against that kind of stuff, but a lot of gamers my age have stories of, like, the early 2000s. It's very common. But again, the problem with it is, one, you can't show off your collection for, like, a certain console, and two, those games don't last very long. Because, you know, it's not a real disc, so what happens is the disc ends up getting scratched to, you know, the ends of the earth, because it's just like a simple CD or DVD you would buy, and you'd use, like, a DVD burner or whatever. So that DVD didn't have longevity the way that I guess they would call it the scratch coating that they put on a PlayStation 2 disc or a PS3 disc is much better than what you can buy. So those discs last, you know, a long time. Most of my PS3 games upstairs are still in mint condition. Like, even though I played them a lot, right? If you were to look at my game collection, like the PS2 games, the PS4, the PlayStation games, the discs are immaculate. Like, they don't have any scratches on them. Because I took really good care of them, right? But, yep. Even my Wii U and Wii games, like, they have no smudges, no scratches. Alright, one more. You should look into the Batman challenges. I mean, I'd like to mod my my Steam Deck, but I don't have the tools and I don't have the talent for that. Like, I've never known how to modify stuff.
Let's get this started.
Like, basically, I will explain how easy it was to burn PS2 games back in the day. If you had a CD burner and you would buy a CD,
trained me for this moment.
right, like a music CD, there was a program that you could get. It was called CD Burner or something like that, and you would copy the entirety of the CD onto another CD in your house. It was a software program you could buy. It was really easy to do that. A caveman could do it, right? Someone on GameFAQs or something came to the conclusion that PlayStation and PS2 and Xbox games used the same type of system as store-bought, like, what do they call it? What do they call those things? Darn, I can't remember what the technical term is. Like, store-bought CDRs, or whatever. So it was very easy to bring the code of the game and everything, like, over in one fell swoop. Whoop. It would take, like, 3 hours or something like that. But you could do it. Most people did it overnight, and then you would return the game to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video when you were done.
We would win.
And you'd have the game. But eventually, companies got wise to it, and they were like, okay. And then once they added those features, it was impossible to do it. There were some hardcore people that could still do it, but it was really easy. So when it comes to modding stuff today, though, modding is very complicated. I've watched videos on how to mod my Steam Deck. I have no idea. And it's like an 8-minute video, and I've watched it like 50 times, and I have no idea what they're talking about. It's like, you have to do this, and this, and this, and this. It's really easy, and then boom, now you're playing PS2 games, PS2 ROMs, whatever, blah, 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 on your Steam Deck. And I'm like, whoa, that looks easy. I do it. It's like, what? Why isn't this working? So, you know, I have no idea how to do mods. That was a long time ago, and basically it was, like, super easy. If you could burn a music CD, like a CD of Striper, and make a copy and give it to your girlfriend, you could burn a PlayStation or PS2 game, no problem. It was super easy. The stuff today is no. To modify like games and implement stuff through Steam and Steam Deck, I can't do that. I wish I could. We were gifted a Steam Deck by a user at the beginning of the year, and I've been using my Steam Deck, and I bought the Batman game, and he wants me to do mods, but I don't know how to do the mods. I've looked up tutorial after tutorial, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I would literally need someone to do it over TeamViewer or something like that, and I've most of my friends that I talk to, they don't know how to do it either, so it's kind of like they got a Steam Deck too because they wanted to do modded stuff with games, but I can't figure it out. I'm just not that tech savvy, I'm sorry. I wish I was, but I'm not. Alright, so the poll is over. You guys have gotten a free-for-all stream. The first ever free-for-all stream for Multiversus will be happening sometime this week. So congratulations, everybody. You did a great job. Thank you so much for helping us hit our Super Chat goal. Tomorrow's streams are Zenless Zone Zero, I think. Mostly Zenless Zone Zero, yeah. X-Men Finale. And Fortnite, X-Men, Cyclops, Colossus, and Jubilee. Do I have the Arkham games on PC? No. My PCs aren't strong enough to play my PC games. They're only good enough to use my streaming software. Every time I run a PC game, it crashes. Like, this laptop that's right here is from 2015. I kid you not. Like, 27. I'm so impressed by Amber. She was able to do really good with the Zenless Zone game. So the Zenless Zone game is so easy that anybody can pick up and play it. That's pretty cool. I thought I was doing really good getting the S ranks, but I think Amber probably got a handle of stuff to the point where technically I don't even need to cover it anymore. But I like playing it. Do I have a new thumbnail? Yes, I do. Okay. Alright, here I'm setting up your Zenless stream now. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Just remember, guys, that Zenless does need 1,000 views in order to get another stream. It's currently at 970 views. So it needs like 30 more views, which I will link that in the description thingy. Alright, so Multiversus is all done. Thank you guys so much for hanging out for Hack and Smash Harley Quinn, the brand new skin that released in Multiversus. And next time we'll be doing a free-for-all sometime this week. Stay safe, everybody. Thank you so much for letting me regale you of the tales of the 2000s. My early years with learning right from wrong. And some other stuff. Before I forget, most of the games that I burned out of guilt, I ended up paying for. So years later, I bought, I would say a good 50% of the games that I burned, like in my teenage years, I actually own them. I own the physical copies. Because my Jiminy Cricket got the best of me, and it's like I have most of the games that I burned. Some of the ones that were delisted, I can't obviously get those back, but I also can't play those games anymore anyway because the modded PS2 is broken, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, take care, people. Be safe, have a great night. Watch the cat short, and I will see you tomorrow on my other channel with my Bruce Timm Has Fallen Off video, which is going to be a lot of fun for me to record. I'm going to go do that now. Laters.